Today, we are diving deep into the shadowy and, let's be real, controversial world of dark psychology. We're going to break down 5 very specific tricks that our source material claims are used by some of the most influential people on the planet to get exactly what they want.
So let's just start with the question our source kicks things off with. What if you could control anyone? Think about it. Your boss, your friend, maybe even a total stranger. It sounds like something out of a movie, but the argument here is that this kind of power is very, very real.
But let's be super clear. We're not talking about magic wands or superpowers here. The source makes a huge point of this. These are learnable, psychological techniques. It's all about understanding what makes people tick and, well, using it to your advantage. So are you ready to crack this so-called code of control? We're going to count down the 5 big techniques that are presented as the keys to influence, starting from the ground up with trick number 5.
All right, let's kick it off with number 5.
This first one is called the illusion of choice, and it works because it taps into a really basic human need. We all want to feel like we're in control. A straight-up yes or no question gives the other person all the power to just say no. This trick is all about taking that power away without them even noticing.
And here's a perfect example. Instead of asking, hey, want to go out? Which is super easy to turn down, you change the frame. You ask, should we hit Pizza Hut or Domino's? See what happened? The other person feels like they're making a choice, but the real decision, which was we're going out, was already made by you.
Okay, so that's all about framing a choice. The next trick, number 4, kind of builds on this idea. These first couple of techniques are all about setting the stage, about getting someone warmed up before you even make your real ask.
Coming in at number 4 is the yes ladder. The psychology behind this is all about consistency. You get someone into the habit of saying yes to you with a bunch of small, easy requests. Each yes makes the next one feel more natural, until saying no just feels, well, wrong.
Our source lays out this great corporate example. Let's say you're gunning for a promotion. You don't just walk in and ask for it. No, first you ask, can I join the client meeting just to learn? Yes. Then, a week later, can I handle a small part of this project? Yes. Then, can I attend that leadership workshop? Yes. You've built this ladder of agreement, so when you finally ask to be considered for that promotion, their brain is already programmed to say yes.
All right, so the first 2 tricks, they were all about setting the stage. But the next 2, well, they get a lot more direct. We're talking about hacking right into someone's core emotions and even their actual memories.
At number 3, we've got a technique that plays on one of the most powerful human emotions there is.
It's called the guilt trap. The basic idea here is that our emotions almost always win out over our logic. And guilt, that is a massive emotional motivator. By casually reminding someone of something you did for them in the past, you create this feeling of social debt that makes it really hard for them to say no.
For instance, the source says you don't just ask to borrow your friend's car. First, you say something like, hey man, remember when I lent you that $200 last month? All of a sudden, they're not thinking about the pros and cons of lending you their car, they're feeling the weight of that favor. And according to the source, the keys are pretty much yours.
And now for number 2. And I gotta say, this one it's pretty unsettling actually.
False memory planting. The argument here is that our brains are just wired for stories. We love a good narrative. And if a story is told with enough conviction, with enough emotion, and you hear it over and over again, the brain can actually start to adopt it as a real memory, even if it never happened. Our source points to politicians being masters of this.
And there is a formula for it. It's not just about repeating a lie. You need 3 key ingredients: constant repetition, plus strong emotion, plus very specific details. You mix those together, and you can supposedly create a brand new truth inside someone else's head.
Okay, we have made it to the final trick, and according to our source, this isn't just another tactic on the list. This is the ultimate display of power and control. The number 1 dark psychology trick, the one that they say shows ultimate control,
Is silence. That's right. It has nothing to do with what you say. It's all about what you don't say. In a tense negotiation, in a confrontation, the source claims the real power isn't in speaking. It's in the pause. It's in just waiting.
just wait.
Did you feel that? That little bit of discomfort? That's the power. Silence creates this vacuum, and human nature absolutely hates a vacuum. It builds this incredible pressure. The other person gets nervous. They feel this overwhelming need to fill the void, and they start talking,
often giving away information or agreeing to things just to make the uncomfortable feeling stop. It puts you in total control.
So, there you have it. 5 incredibly powerful, and let's be honest, kind of scary techniques. And this brings us to the final, and probably the most important takeaway from all of this.
Our source leaves us with this one last thought. Understanding these tricks isn't just about learning how to influence other people. It's about learning how to recognize when these tricks are being used on you. You can see the patterns now. You hold the code. So the real question isn't just how you might use it, but how will you react the next time you realize it's being used on you?